wave and particle form because it's
And
on the
we are
electromagnetic
live.
spectrum.
Hmm.
That's fine. Everyone could use this lesson. See, because it works in
Okay.
waves, there are peaks and troughs to your signal. So sometimes moving small amounts in your office can actually make your signal better because you move from a trough to a peak.
Or it
Okay.
can make it worse because you move from a peak to a trough.
Exactly.
Well, it would be hard for it to get a lot worse than it already was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also,
So
Goth, you'll appreciate this. My excuse for the cons is that I will tell them I'm going to an actual work convention, and sometimes I will. Describing the idea of cross-battery assessment and its uses in practical fields of special education bores people to tears. I watch the eyes glaze over and they stop asking me.
okay. So
I
for
just
people
described
who are
waffles for two
watching this
hours.
live stream,
We're having fun.
we're live for our discussion of our last official live stream where we've caught up with the present, and we're here to talk about Charmed in 2025. And honestly, starting off with how do you answer the question, so what are all you weirdos doing in the hotel anyway, isn't a bad place to start out from. I mean,
I
we
resemble that
had
remark.
1 year where there was a botany convention at another hotel and like a mathematics thing at another hotel. So a half of us told people that we were botanists and the other half told people we were mathematicians. And generally speaking, you get just as many glazed looks with those as well.
Yep.
But it is perfectly okay to say to people, we're a hypnosis convention. That's what we used to actually recommend in the program guide. But it's way more fun to come up with how the most boring possible alternative.
I tell people I'm going to a Nova Scotia flavored waffle convention, NSFW, and then if they pry, I proceed to discuss all the various techniques I know for making waffles, jam, compotes, and how there's a big rivalry between the people that insist that a waffle must be fried as opposed to people that want to do waffles by other means. And if they still haven't stopped talking to me, then I start talking about pancakes and how there's an undercurrent of pancake appreciators. I amuse myself.
How does French toast sneak in there
Pageant.
too?
It
It
Full
hasn't.
does
house.
not.
I haven't had to go to French toast yet.
Have you gotten to have these savory versus sweet waffle applications conversation?
It's all
No,
in the
I
batter.
usually get people to glaze out when I start talking about jams and compotes.
Which is a shame because jams and compotes are awesome.
They are
But
wonderful, but they're just beyond the pall of what people are willing to tolerate.
did you know? I know you know. Did you know that you don't have to add pectin to jams that you're making with blackberries because there's enough natural pectin that see, I can have this conversation.
So with blackberries, I actually prefer to add pectin because they got lower. It's raspberries and cranberries that I feel bring enough pectin to the game. Now
Oh, cranberries bring a lot.
you're supposed to use you're not supposed to use pectin when you make marmalades because you get the pectin out of the rind of the orange peel, like the marmalade I have on the stove now. But the last two marmalades I've made have just not set up as well as I'd like, so I've just put in some pectin for insurance measures. We can do this all day, Noel.
Oh,
I
we
feel like
totally can, but we're not going to because Wiseguy looks like he was about to slowly.
I feel like
Ooh,
at this
it's the
point, if you
pectin induction.
I'm having all kinds of fun right now.
if you bring this, I feel like if people can hold to this conversation, I feel like the next question is, are you a friend of Dorothy and are you actually into this and looking to get information about the con? That is a joke, by the way.
Wait. I got that it was a joke,
I have to be careful.
but because you're surrounded at all times by people with a tendency to take the things that you say literally.
Yes, and that could legitimately happen to a lot of people at the con too. So it
Mhm.
is a wonderful thing to be surrounded by your people. Most of them are going to be expressing their true genders, not the ones that they have to show to keep people happy at home, work, etc. But there's also that tendency that misunderstandings can happen. So it's it's such an interesting thing to be around the con people, and I love every minute
Also,
of it.
very helpful if everyone could walk around with a tiny little sign that said sarcasm on it that they could hold up when they were being sarcastic.
Oh
That
God,
would be
I'd always
very
be
useful.
having that damn sign up though.
Man,
We'll
why does it
just
have
get
a-
you a
Wise guy,
stamp
you-
to put on your forehead.
You and I would just get buttons that say, "Yes, I am being sarcastic."
Yep.
To be fair, it's much easier to get it from tone when people are speaking than when people are typing.
I have lived
As
with
a
my
person.
roommate for almost 10 years. He still needs me to do tone checks. My deadpan is just too good.
Mm. Look at that.
Hey,
We are
Lynx!
now 5. So Lynx, just checking, is it you?
No.
It is her.
No.
Ah,
Oh. It's
If
her
you
evil
have
twin
not
Skippy.
been, Wise Guy, if you haven't been keeping abreast of the countdown posts, you should know that 3 days ago you were the subject of the countdown post.
Oh.
Identify this ComCom member, which was a background of stars moving towards you, and then in the Star Wars font, that's right.
That's cute.
We've done 3 days of them. We've done 4. We've done you, me, Lynx, and today's, which I don't understand why we keep not telling people today's Kitty Sylvie, because the idea is for people to get to know the ComCom, not to feel like we're gatekeeping them for some reason. But Lynx has been going on every single post and going, guys, it's me.
I tried to get Sai to do it yesterday because Sai is another one who hides in the back rooms pretty frequently. But that just to add more chaos and confusion. But the problem is if I did it, they might actually buy it because even though purple's not my jam, the paw prints.
Purple's my jam. And the fact that it got
did
flagged
have-
with Rapunzel colors, I was like, damn, call out.
We did have one person on social media, T, who guessed that Lynx's was you. All I can say to that is the day we get to you, it will be very, very obvious to a lot of people.
I feel like they're all very obvious, but maybe I'm just reading them.
But we also
I mean,
spend
you know all the people.
we have been spending every Monday with each other for how long now?
True.
A small while, and they come in clumps. So tomorrow is not a ComCom identifier countdown day. Tomorrow is a, hey, if you haven't gotten your stinking COVID vaccination, you have today, period.
Get it.
That's not how it's phrased, but
It should be.
It should be. Yeah.
well,
I will be good cop and say then, hey, you're going to join me and we're going to have a great time online.
the intention is exactly the same. It's just phrased in a different way.
Yes.
And for people watching, if you haven't gotten your COVID vaccination, you have
Get it.
tomorrow, period. And I promise you that when I tell you you cannot come to the con because you didn't get your COVID vaccination, I say it in the most surgical way possible because it's horrible to have to do that to you. And I will tell you, you can't come no matter who you are, how well I know you, how close of a friend we are, or how sad, and I hate to say this, or how sad your excuse is. Because.
Yeah.
Because.
All
No
of the
shot, no come.
rules, all the rules
If you
apply
come
to
to the hotel and you haven't had your shot, you're going to have a nice weekend in a hotel room because we're not going to let you in the con.
all of the rules apply to ConCom as well. Like we cannot
Yes.
go past Door Dragons without badges. We
Mm-mm.
cannot go for the con unless we register, and we need our COVID vaccines too.
So last
And
year,
I
my
just
head,
want to.
my
Yeah,
head
go
we
ahead.
can't
sysadmin.
say, don't you know who I am? And actually get anywhere with it. So we'll get abuse.
Last year, my lead sysadmin didn't get his COVID shot, and I needed him to help me figure out if it was really Zoom with a memory leak. So I had to smuggle the laptops out of the hotel to him to get him to look at them, bring them back, and I had to wipe them all down with rubbing alcohol to make sure that they were sanitary. Now, I know my roommate, he didn't have COVID. He got his shot about a week after the convention because he just forgot. But the point remains is that even people that are very important for us to have around, no COVID, no in.
No badge, no in. You're not going to get past the Door Dragons either. If you just like, whoops, I left my badge in my room. No, you're going back to your room.
Nope.
Even if you're the presenter, you're going back to your room.
I have sent more than 1%
happy.
are late to their class because they did not bring their badge.
I am happy to say that this year, compared to previous years, all of the members of ConCom got registered for the convention really quickly and efficiently.
That's different.
Yeah, but
apparently.
occasionally their wives had to wait until like last month.
Mhm.
My wife.
But you don't get poked at by Katie about wives not being registered.
No.
I'm happy to say that my partner managed to get himself registered 4 days ago.
Ah, well, I'm glad he didn't wait till the last minute.
That would be the day where I got a text that said, "Hey, I finally remembered to register for Charm." It's like, cool. He's not presenting, so no one else would have
No,
had to.
but then again,
deal
if
with
it had been 3 days ago, he would have paid more.
This is true.
And
Yes,
if you're
I do.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Let's say if you're a volunteer, a presenter, or some other position in the con, and you haven't registered yet, you either probably already have or are going to get a DM from myself, Noelle, or Kitty, or someone. You should register.
There's a list. I checked it many, many times.
It's
Last
golf
night was
claws.
very frustrating.
Golf
Yeah.
Claus is coming to town. Is that Krampus?
No, I actually like giving people things. I'm not horrible.
Well, to be fair, we all want to be abducted for a 3-day weekend at the con, but that's a different story.
I don't want to be abducted. I want to be the abductor.
I don't consent.
Yeah.
I withdraw consent from this part of the conversation.
Fair, we should move on. We respect consent here.
Yes.
So I'm trying to think of good questions. We talked about things that you can tell people when they ask, "What is this convention about?"
Should we talk about things we're excited about?
We can do that. Are you awake enough to be excited about something, everyone?
I am very excited about something.
I
This
am
year,
okay.
for the first time, I have automated help in managing the server. My developer, Joy of Six Wings, made a Discord bot that explicitly addresses what Charmed needs. See, the problem with Discord bots that I've looked at in the past is they all assume that the users can be trusted and to select what permissions they need, and that doesn't really work when you have like, I don't want people to be able to select Concom. I don't want people to be able to select Consent Team unless they are truly part of it. And so this bot, I've created a CSV. Everybody will is on the CSV, and then when they click the rules, it will toggle a thing from 0 to 1, and then they are a member, and then the bot will go through and assign all the roles at once. So there's going to be no more bot requests, no more, hey, I don't have my permissions. There is one little caveat to how the bot works. I need your actual Discord username, not your server name, not the hash underneath, just the actual username that you log in with, because that's what the bot checks against. And if your username doesn't match the list, you're going to click that thing and the bot's going to tell you, thank you for acknowledging the rules. You're not on the list. Please contact somebody. And I am very scared of the number of contacts. So if you think you've registered wrong, it's okay.
Or
Reach
if
out to
you've
myself.
changed your name since you registered.
But you have to change the actual
DM
username.
name.
The actual
DM
username, not
me.
just your DM me or Katie, and we will
Or me.
or Noelle, and we will get to the bottom of it and get it figured out. But that's my big fear.
And I want to shout out, not by name, but I want to shout out the individual who read last night's post and is not a presenter or a volunteer or someone who was messaged today and went, "Oh crap, I think I spelled my username wrong," and contacted me to let me know. That was great
you.
being proactive, and thank you.
Yes.
Who knows if they're even watching, but they might be.
They're watching in our hearts.
Yeah. Now, how many people are on this list?
The list of people that are problematic, or the total list of expected
The
attendees?
total list of expected attendees.
Can I give the specific number, or should I use ballpark?
You can give the
There's
specific
no reason
number.
not to. Yeah.
540 people are currently expected on the server.
540 people.
Now I know this list is short a little bit because some of the people that when I got the big part of the list, the big chunk of registered people, it did not include the people that had not age verified. So I know the age verifiers are missing, but beyond that, this
And I
should
want to
be
make
the
sure
one.
that people watching understand that what that means is if you've never been in our event server before, if we haven't age verified you previously, right? Those are the people that you're talking about because everyone else should be in the system already.
And it only applies to people that are attending only online, because if you are attending in person and you have an age verified, we'll see your ID when you show up to get your badge. But for the people that attend online, we've got to get your age another more insidious way. And by insidious, I mean talking to Katie and following her instructions.
Ooh, spooky.
It's not exactly insidious. It's just.
And I think that's a good reminder for most of the.
Yeah.
Sorry, Noel.
No, go ahead.
I think it's just a good reminder for most of the people that the standard charmed server is not age verified. That's one of the reasons why a number of people are going to dance around some of the more not safe for work topics. No, not safe for work pictures, and no like hypno things are going to be there. And that's one of our big concerns of like why the video gets so regulated. Someone goes to pop a spiral in there. We do not want that with the people who could be well under 18.
And that's
and
why
to be fair,
you
we
can't.
don't want that for people who haven't consented to experiencing that, no matter how old they are.
And that's one of the many reasons why you can't kink in general.
Yep.
Never
No horny
kink.
on Maine. Sorry, Lynx.
And because it's a logical place to go, I want to remind everybody that we have a hard cutoff. Not us, we know. Everybody else, we have a hard cutoff for registration. Last year, we let you register. God help us.
The day of.
Saturday
All
morning.
the way up
we let
until
you
the actual convention. But this year, you have until the 17th of January. Period.
We let you register into the actual convention last year. Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
We like Katie.
Yeah.
We like Goth. We like them both to have hair.
Yes.
Noelle,
Yes.
I'm excited about something.
What are you excited about?
A week from tomorrow, the 13th of January, is when the dungeon schedule is coming out for sign up.
Also, Lynx, I should let you know that depending on how you lean over, I think you could probably get it so that you were just a floating head. Oh, yeah. No, go back to just the way you were. When you had, you just for a second there, you were just a head and an arm.
I love it.
Put move your arm back towards. I don't know how you did it before, but
I don't know how I did it either.
Well, for a brief second there, you were just a floating head and arm.
And Lynx, don't you have a charm chat coming up on the 9th?
I do.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
You should come hang out
Can
with
you
me on
explain to
Thursday.
people what a charm chat is?
So before we ended up doing the socialization events and before we ended up doing the live streams, the charm chats were the best ways to do it. If you look on the server, there is a stage. It used to be a chat channel too, where a majority of the con-com comes on and we kind of discuss events that are relative to the con. There have been a few things that have happened in the past. We usually do the dungeon one. Goth likes to show off the server because Goth can hit the really cool button that says show my screen. We've had the consent team on there in the past. We've talked about like the hotel and things like that. We kind of want to go back to them. We were talking about it.
But specifically, the charm chat format is less everybody talk and more we talk to you about stuff that's coming. It's kind of like this, but also more focused.
There's a little bit more interactivity only because being concentrated in Discord, people can ask questions and chat and we can answer them right away.
That is true.
Where we don't really have that with YouTube/Zoom.
So on the 9th, which for people keeping track is next Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
Lynx will be talking about the dungeon.
Yes.
Yay. I'm so excited. I'll get to info dump and people will have to listen to me. I'm so excited.
Yes. It'll be loaded with BDE, big dungeon energy.
Big dungeon energy. Somebody put
You
that on a
can
shirt.
hear my
Somebody
groan
put that
from
on a
here,
shirt.
right?
So our behind the scenes volunteer who does things like tell me if there are any questions. Hey Lenny, can you make Lynx a patch that says big dungeon energy, please? Thank you.
I already have Linny's. I'd love a patch. I have pins on my service dog vest from Linny.
That might be a fun thing to engrave on a paddle too.
Oh, do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
I don't
I
think
think
she
I would
wants you
have
to
to
do it,
do it
wise
in
guy.
mirror image so that when you hit somebody, it would show up and be readable.
Do it, please.
Well, yeah.
I will give you. I have $3. I will give you all.
Everyone's got their
Lynx.
hobbies.
Links to Wise Guy,
Lenny
shut up and take my money.
says, yeah, Lenny says, and I quote, doing it, wah ha 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 ha.
Linny.
We have fun
Oh,
at the con.
yeah.
So there you go. Well, let's see, T, we already know that you're excited about Uncon because y'all, well, I constantly froze, talked about that last week.
I am. I'm just really excited more for the people. There were so many people I met at the con, especially the online, who ended up becoming really close friends later. It's one of those things where it's like, I like talking to the fun people too. And basically, you've seen me on here. How can I phrase this that won't get me bleeped out on YouTube?
Keep it
See,
PG.
we are marked as not for kids, and we're not trying to monetize. So
Okay, good. I
Speak.
basically shitpost in most of my things, and that's how I am in real life too. I can behave, I promise. I just don't like to.
Yes.
Yeah, we believe you.
Okay, I believe
Wise
you.
guy, what are you excited about?
Uh, um, um,
Just one thing.
I know. That's the hard part. I'm just looking forward to seeing people.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm boring. But
No,
High five, Wise Guy.
yeah, I 100% will admit right now here where it's going to be available for posterity that generally speaking, even before I was busy being on Concom, I maybe attended like one class per event other than the ones I was presenting. I am all about being there for the people, and there are a lot of really great classes, and somehow I just never get to them.
Yes.
Yes,
Ah.
Lynx, your blurry arm looks like you have something to say.
I think the best part about con is finding my friends on their door dragon shifts and just sitting next to them. And like there's usually a group of us that all just sit with our Steam Decks and our Switches and we all just keep our friend who's door dragon company. And then we'll end up being like, do you have your badge? Do you have your badge? And it's just a Spider-Man meme of everyone pointing at each other.
Will the real
That
Door Dragon
works.
please stand up?
Oh,
That works really well at our upstairs checkpoint because there's a little
Not so well
place
at the
where you
downstairs.
can sit, but not really downstairs.
Yeah, upstairs is the best. And then we have a trinket trade. It's very nice.
And for the newer members, this is what you're getting into. I promise you, you can and will make friends. Most of
You're
us
gonna get
really
adopted by somebody.
yes, like there are groups that you just make friends over the years, and that's the part of the con for a lot of us. Like you just see friends that you see 1, 2, 3 times a year, maybe.
Mhm.
And that's where a lot of the energy is. You can get in. You absolutely can get in.
Mhm.
But just
If
Yeah.
you see me,
And
just be like, hi, Lynx, I need a friend. And I'll be like, cool, friend, come here. I have
will-
you.
I also volunteer that service too. I'll probably be
And-
sitting at ops tables just to imitate my sitting at consent table from last year.
so
You can also ask for an
need a
adult.
little.
I do want to mention one other thing. I admit, rather curious and intrigued, and will probably be spending a lot more time than usual in the dungeon just to see the equipment works out.
Is there a reason
Don't
why you're
mind
curious
that
about how the
person
equipment will work out?
standing there watching.
Because I've never built dungeon equipment before.
There
I
it is.
also rigged all of the dungeon equipment with booby traps. Like, so Wise Guy's gonna see all my booby trap kidding.
Do you mean just pictures of boobies pop up?
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually just gonna go around and just start taping pictures of blue-footed boobies to all the equipment.
I was gonna say that would be interesting, considering you haven't been down here to do that yet.
I actually teleported. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
There's lots
why
of
there
time
was-
Thursday evening.
That's
There's
why
lots of time.
there was bacon in your fridge the other day. It was because of me.
I
Is
will.
that why?
I love Lenny B's comment of "You will make friends. This is a threat."
So I just want to assure people, as the official introvert representative on this
Hey,
call,
I'm
I
here
Oh,
too.
think-
excuse me?
Okay.
Hi, I'm an
Just-
extroverted
just-
introvert.
Yeah. Let me rephrase. Everyone will understand if you get overwhelmed and need to go back to your room.
Yes.
Mhm.
Everyone will understand that. Also, one of the great things about having a hybrid con is that if there is a class that's available hybrid that you want to watch and you just can't handle all those people anymore, you can go back to your room and still
Oh.
attend the class.
You can
This
also
is-
watch the class if it's a hybrid class. You can also watch the class at a later date via Podia streaming, which this year is going to go until the end of the week, i.e., Friday the 31st. Calendars
Mhm.
enrage and confuse me.
Yes.
What?
Friday the
Friday
31st.
31st until 11:59 p.m.
Yep.
Each
And
So-
after that, they are
standard
gone.
time.
I
We
am,
do not- We do not save them; they are gone.
and you do not save them. If we find out that you're trying to save them, you will be banned for life.
I will
And we
rain
have done that.
hellfire upon you.
Half
No,
the
I didn't-
server rained hellfire upon them last year when we caught someone doing that. The server basically, I'm looking for
Yeah.
what the correct word, like they basically just called out how selfish this person was.
The
Don't
server
do it, you will
revolted.
get caught.
I think you're
Uh,
looking for the term shitstorm.
Yeah,
Uh,
the server revolted. I had to be kept. Other people had to deal with it because I had already left the hotel and they were worried I would come back. It is just to be clear, you cannot justify this. It is a major violation of people's privacy, an invasion of their personal space, an invasion of their rights for you to skim things. It is not a victimless crime. There are victims, and I will make sure you are one of them.
The other thing to keep in mind too is that a lot of our presenters only do stuff on Podia because they feel safe. If we ever get to the point where people are successfully scraping, the amount of people who sign up to do Podia is going to drop like a fly on crack.
Yep.
Gonna plummet.
And
And that
if-
will probably be the end of the hybrid cons because we don't have people doing hybrid.
Right,
Mhm.
because when Podia, it's not just Podia that's impacted. People will also stop feeling safe about presenting online in general, which will make the hybrid con evaporate very fast. So again, there is no justification. There is no short-term bad, long-term good, or short-term good, long-term bad. It's just all bad, and you're just accelerating something you enjoy being taken away from you.
Do save it to your brain. You're
Yes.
fine with that. Just not
Yeah.
on an actual physical media.
The
Or a cloud
consent-
media or any other form of media.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
I'm not I've been
Yeah.
pedantic to death the last 24 hours. I'm not leaving anything open.
Just everyone needs to remember that consent implies to every aspect of this event, not just the scenes that you may do together.
Yes.
I think that's a good segue, by the way, Noel, like talking about what people could do to take care of themselves during the con, because you mentioned too, like it's quite okay to be in the room,
Mhm.
and it's really intoxicating and overwhelming to be surrounded by a whole bunch of hypno kinksters at
Oof.
once.
Before
Yeah.
we segue from our segue, we should probably see if everybody has gotten to say something that they're excited for.
That'd be a good idea.
I mean, I haven't, but I didn't intend to. Because
you don't
my
get
job is to ask all the rest of you questions.
Your Concom Noel.
I'm sorry, you don't get out of this, Noel. What are you excited for?
Nope.
I can ask questions too. It's in my contract.
Peer pressure.
Wait, we have contracts?
We have contracts? Unionize!
So right now I would have just as much trouble narrowing it down to things as Wiseguy did, because I'm very much in the middle of the preparation part where if you literally ask me what I'm most excited about, I will at this time say I am most excited about January 28th, which is the first day I will get to sleep in for, well, since the 16th of October.
Wait, you get sleep?
Yeah,
I don't know what sleep you speak of is.
Sleep is
yeah,
not
well,
optional
some
at the
of
con.
you have the kind of occupations where you naturally have to get up at the ass crack of dawn anyway. I'm not one of you.
Yeah, I go
But
to work when
anyway.
it's dark out and I leave work when it's dark out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. See, the problem is that my answer is also seeing people who I don't get to see in person a lot.
Guys, it's me.
So
Aren't you excited about all the baking you're doing?
Your classes also sound fantastic. We're going to.
I also wrote your banana bread up as one of my breakfast options on my checklist for Charmed menu. So
okay. So I feel weird about plugging the baking on Concom things because that
Noelle's
feels
doing
like-
baking. She posted a sign up sheet. You should sign up and do it.
everyone
There, I did
go
it for
get
you.
Noelle to make money.
Noel, you shout half the time. You're getting to taste your own medicine. Deal with it, nerd.
Like, I am impressed that you're willing to let people order baked goods from you. I enjoy making jams, jellies, marmalades, and ice creams, and I'm not opening up my kitchen to everyone. Not because I don't think I could. I've done it in the past, but because I am just terrified by the sheer amount that could happen. So I am amazingly impressed that you're willing to
Don't
to do
know what
that.
everybody else said.
Yeah.
So when I first started doing it, the first year that I think I brought baked goods. Ooh, this time it's Wiseguy freezing, not me. The first couple years that I did it, I actually didn't sell them. I did it as I'm not good at making friends, so I will bribe people to hang out with me with baked goods.
I love this video.
And that was before I was doing concoming, and that was before I was presenting a ton of classes. And so I'm poor, I needed the money. And I was like, okay, guys, if I started selling things, would you buy them? And enough people said yes that I started doing it. So it's kind of snowballed a little bit since then.
That's kind of how, when I was selling jams and jellies, it went, is I made them for me, and some of my friends were like, man, I love this. I'm like, well, just have a jar here, have a jar there. And then I looked at how much it was costing me to make it all, because, like, yeah, sugar and fruit is cheap, but jars weren't. And so I'm like, if I charged you guys and then like, yeah, we'll give you extra money. I'm like, no. I've calculated my income to take and what you need. And then like it just, but for me, it became overwhelming because jams can be a lot of, making jam is easy. Making jam last a long time is resource intense.
There we go. Oh, hey, and now I have a background.
Hey, welcome back.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, as luck would have it, Goth, last summer in August, when I was also at my parents' house, which is where I am now, I had a friend visit who's addicted to going to like fruit stands and outdoor markets. And when she went further on her travels, she left behind like 5 pounds of various kinds of berries. And so as it happens, I will actually also have, I think it's 9 little jars of blackberry raspberry jam
That's
for
crazy.
sale at Charmed.
Love it.
I love that.
They're this big. They're little tiny ones.
Oh, wait, they're really like tiny?
They're
No,
not
but-
like the little baby ones that people steal from restaurants. They're like
I'm guessing they're probably the
what is
4-ounce
that, like
jars.
4-ounce jars, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
I was gonna say if they're in the tiny jars, can I just have the jar, please?
No,
You're gonna have to lick it
no,
clean.
because Goth is exactly right. That shit's expensive.
Make
I'll
sure to pet
buy
play. You have to
it.
lick
Speaking
it
of
clean.
marmalade, I only have about 15 minutes left before I have to attend to a batch of marmalade.
Well, conveniently, we've only got 9 minutes left until the official end time
Yes.
of the stream. So
Maybe we could just pivot to the take care of yourselves at Charm. Minimum
Yeah,
6 hours
okay,
of sleep,
well,
minimum
here.
2
yeah,
meals.
everyone say one thing that is a personal thing they do as self-care at the event, and you can go first because you're the one who brought it up.
That'll
My
teach you.
self-care. Ouch. I make sure to definitely get some food as much as I can too. Like there's a Buffalo Wild Wings I'm planning to hit over there too. The pizza's not bad, even though I grew up in New York City and became a pizza snob too. The hotel breakfast is pretty good actually. So food, feed yourselves. Minimum 2 meals a day. Make it more if you can.
Wise guy, self-care, one thing.
Well, also being an introvert, I try to get away when I have to, when I can manage it and just kind of be by myself. I tend not to show up for a lot of evening events for that reason. Uh, but you know, that way I can continue to do the things I have to do during the day. Because
Thanks.
I am not an
Right.
extrovert, but I play one pretty well.
Right, Lynx, one thing.
I'm a horrible example of self-care, so I can't do it myself. So I tell my friends where my food is, and they set alarms on their phone and eat. And then and then they'll be like, "Here, Lynx, here's a snack. I'm not hungry. I don't care. I'm gonna sit and stand here until you eat it." So then I just like aggressively
Delegating to somebody else counts.
Yeah, I am really bad at doing it myself. I didn't really eat much, and then I did an oops, and I passed out 3 years ago.
Oh,
So yeah, make sure you're eating and make sure you shower because don't smell gross.
Yeah.
621. 6 hours sleep, 2 meals a day, 1 shower, all of those are the bare minimum.
Thanks for
Oh, it's
taking
5-2-1.
thanks for taking mine. It's 5-2-1, by the way.
I'd make it 821, please.
So Goth, what's your backup?
Sorry.
Be prepared to have other hobbies. Yes, this is a hypnocon. Yes, people are going to be excited to do hypnosis. For me personally, and for a lot of other people, I've noticed that if you're at the con and constantly just 100%ing only hypnosis, you're going to burn yourself out. Bring board games, play board games. I generally bring what am I up to? 47 Magic decks and try to get a couple games of Commander in.
Really good that you're local.
Yeah, I would still, because I fly Southwest. There are ways to ship them.
Yes.
Um,
2 suitcases for free on every Southwest flight.
but my point is, don't just let the con subsume you with its single-minded focus. Explore. Remember that you are a complex, multifaceted person, and that other parts of your life will need attention, and to give it the attention it deserves. And you might find other people that like your special interest, whether it's cooking, magic, board games, creating
D&D.
jams and jellies, D&D, video games. I'm just listing mine on the off chance that this works.
There's a lot of people who are going to share it too. And feel free to talk about your other interests. As God said, you're going to make friends, but also they can be helpful.
I have to drop now. I'm so sorry for peeling out early.
That is
Bye,
quite
Goth.
all right.
Bye,
Good luck
Goth.
with the marmalade.
Oh, with marmalade.
Bye. Well, and at a hypnosis convention, if you bounced a ball off of the heads of like 100 people in a room, 99 of those people are going to be the biggest nerds you ever met in your life.
Yep.
It's a good idea to. I sometimes will work on D&D stuff in my game too, because it's very fun to come up with ideas by bouncing off a couple sadists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't it easier to bounce off a couple masochists?
They'll tell you what they
Eee.
like.
I've heard my butt is very bouncy.
So I am going to say as my one thing that people need to remember to be kind to themselves, to give themselves the space to do all of these things. If you don't make it to a class you wanted to go to, if you're too tired to participate in something, if you're too overwhelmed, if something happens, be kind to yourself. It's not, I know in the middle of things, especially at something that's super intense, like hypnosis convention or any convention, to be honest, it's really easy to get mad at yourself, to be upset with yourself because you couldn't live up to some expectation that you set yourself before the con started. And the fact of the matter is that I've been going to cons now since 2013, and every single con, someone who on the outside you would think is the happiest, most outgoing, most vivacious, most capable person ends up right around 11 o'clock on Saturday night having a huge emotional breakdown, because it can be very overwhelming. And if that person turns out to be you, please understand that that person has been all of us. And you should just be kind to yourself.
Especially if it's
That's
your
the best
first.
I got.
Yeah. If, like Noelle said, if you threw a ball and bounced it off the heads of people, they're nerds. If you did the same thing, you'd find a spoonie. Most of us are spoonies. So please mind your spoons and
some
don't,
people don't realize that until they're there.
yeah. If
And
you
some-
feel this overwhelming feeling of, oh my God, everything's too loud, I can feel the seams in my socks, everything's annoying me, the lights are
I'm
too
sorry, you buy socks with seams? What are you?
No, I don't, because I'm autistic and can't stand it. But when I used to, that was what I would feel, was seams in my socks.
No seams.
I also have no seam socks. But if you're like so overwhelmed that you can't focus, you're probably overstimulated. You're not you when you're hungry. Go use the Halt.
And
Hungry,
you could be
hello.
imagining seams in your socks just to be annoyed about it.
hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Halt. HALT.
all the con emotions will be
Oh,
present.
yeah.
Especially on Sunday night, Monday morning when it's over.
Oh God, don't even get me at the closing ceremony. I'm gonna be a mess. Maybe I'll make it to closing ceremony this year. Who knows?
I don't think I will be, which makes me sad because I have a plane to catch.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah, it
and
does
I'm
suck
not
Sunday not being
asking
a
this
holiday.
to happen. But last year there was a storm that grounded a lot of flights, and a lot of people were stuck in the hotel for like 2 extra days.
That would be
And then
bad.
we had like Charmed 2.0 in the car.
We did. I also, in our last seconds, I want to shout out our hotel, which will remain unnamed, because when that happened last year, they were super accommodating about letting people continue having the con rate in their hotel rooms. I'm not saying that that's
nice.
going to happen again. And I'm not saying that that didn't happen because the people who should have been in those rooms were unable to show up because all the planes were grounded, and that way they got to have butts in rooms. But still, it was very helpful.
It's not, it doesn't negate the helpfulness that they benefited too.
The hotel is very nice to us. Please be nice to the hotel.
Please be nice to
Clean
the
up
hotel.
and tip housekeeping. Tip housekeeping.
Yes.
Don't be a douchebag.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, and I put that in the newsletter actually for this month, that people should remember to tip housekeeping. So everybody knows, depending on how much work you leave them to do, in my world, you budget ahead for anywhere from $3 to $5 a day, which means everyone should have $20 to $25 honestly in their budget for the hotel. Now, if you're sharing a room with someone, that's not necessarily per person, that's for the room. Okay. Anybody else got a last thoughts?
No, I hope they're all gone in 19 days.
Thoughts at a HypnoCon? I was about to say, hi, disembodied head.
Nope. Yep. yeah, sadly, some of us have to have thoughts in our heads for a large percentage of the con,
Same.
and that's
Me at the
fine.
Yes.
dungeon.
It just
Yeah.
means that for the thoughtless parts, you get to be as thoughtless as possible.
Yay for
And on that
dogs.
cheerful note,
It's
this
somewhat
is our
confusing, though,
last.
considering we were just talking a minute ago about being thoughtful for the hotel and whatnot.
This is true.
So
This
long
is
as
the
things.
last officially scheduled one of these. And
Aw,
the reason why I
yay.
only scheduled us through this particular weekend is because next particular weekend, we're all going to be doing a lot of con prep
hmm
because the
Yeah.
con is 19 days away.
It finally clicked.
19.
That's disgusting.
So,
I better make some paddles, huh?
Yes, please. Oh, here's my head. Ooh, floating head.
yep,
There it
floating head,
is.
good job. So, on behalf of people from ConCom who aren't here, I've been EnScenic, aka Noel, and with me we had
Wiseguy?
The other
On.
one. Me.
and
T and L.
all right, and we'll see all of you